Good morning, Hoosier fans, and welcome to a victorious edition of Hoosier Morning After. This is Hoosier Morning After Michigan State, a game where the Hoosiers win against Michigan State 67-63. This is great, guys. Look at that. Three times in a row, we have beaten Michigan State with teams that have been controversial. Teams that have had many critics, have had many interesting losses and wins. We have come in and taken care of business against a top tier and very good Michigan State team that is probably a Final Four team that has a great senior leadership, has great staying power, something that will afford them very well in the postseason, and IU is able to take care of that at home. Biggest factor, I think, being at home. Thank goodness we don't play them there, because that might be another story. But being at home helped a lot. Going into this game, I said that the fans needed to get there. They needed to be cheering on. They needed to be excited. They needed to give this team energy. And that definitely happened. Good job. If you were there at the game, thank you. Thank you. You were great. You were loud. You're probably hoarse today from screaming and everything. Your lack of voice, I thank you for that. IU obviously came out to a great start. That energy from the crowd, feeding from them, able to get the lead out to 14, I believe, at the most in the first half. Good shot selection, playing inside out, getting it into Brunk making good decisions whether he to pass out of it or what to do from there. Good assists, movement of the ball, a lot of good action happening. And then also additionally on the other side, good defense, staying with our men, being aggressive. The key, again, obviously to this game is taking care of Winston. Winston, as I said, previewing this game, would be the key, both for their win or our win and their win. You needed to shut him down. You needed to stay strong on him because he can get going, not only from scoring, but if the scoring's not there for him, he can find the way to will his team to get back into it. So, again, great start. Get things going, spread out the game, get ahead, and then we had our IU moment. I guess we could call it our 2019-2020 team moment. That great little lull that we like to have, where we had just some tough back and forth play. Cassius kind of found his feet. The pick and roll. They were good coaching in that sense where they were able to exploit that on us. We're able to use our high hedging and our staying with the men to limit that drive, which I believe we needed to do against us, and we're able to get some good. They got some good looks from three or some good dives to the basket. Kind of battling back, they slowly chipped away at that lead, and led to IU kind of had a scoring drought from about the 7-minute mark, almost actually 9-10 minute mark, only making one basket all the way to the 3-minute mark, and that's a point where we needed guys to step up. We needed some certain people to step up a little bit, and while we were playing decent again overall, minus that scoring lull, we just needed guys to make those little extra plays. And that was Race Thompson in the first half. Race only had 11 minutes, I believe. Obviously, he got injured and went out. But those 11 minutes, he was very impactful. Fighting for the rebounds, tipping the ball, staying aggressive, staying with his man. He ended with 4 rebounds in 11 minutes. That's good. Feels like he had more. He just he took some minutes away from Trace. Trace at the beginning of this game, it's going to sound weird to say this because from Race getting injured on, or maybe a little bit before that, Trace had a really good game from there. To start the game, Trace looked a little timid, I should say. He wasn't as aggressive on the board as Race was. He wasn't as physical as he needed to be. He found that. He found that aggression, diving for the ball that one time, getting going otherwise, but he seemed a little timid to start. And that's what gave Race the opportunity to come in and make a impact, bring some energy. And he obviously goes out with an injury. Coach is at least saying now, I haven't seen any updates this morning, I was looking for it, but in the coach's game said it's his lower back, hit his lower back, and it kind of seized up on him a little bit. Coach doesn't seem to think it's anything serious. So hopefully some good stretching, chiropractor work, massage, something like that. Hopefully that'll loosen things up for him, and because this could have been a very big coming out game for him, something to really show what he could do. I mean, he was 2 for 2 from field goal. His offense looked a little bit better. His movement, his feet on offense. He didn't look as lost when he had the ball on offense. It looked good. It looked the confidence. The game is definitely starting to slow down a little bit on the offensive side. Defensive side, I felt like he's been okay, but now I think it's finally slowing down on the offensive side for him. The other one to talk about that helped us in that first half troubles was Armand Franklin. He stayed aggressive. He was one that was willing to fight. He had some good decisions with the ball. That little ISO move that he had when he got the ball on the left wing and was able to catch and quickly dive to the basket. He got fouled. He may have goaltended his own missed shot. I don't know what the ruling on that kind of thing is when you're already kind of in the move and the ball comes flying out of your hand and then you grab the rim. It's just a dunk. It's an alley dunk. You don't touch it. It's a fancy dunk. But seeing stuff like that as a freshman, he's got a great ceiling. We are gonna love that kid. I mean, we already do, but what he is going to be able to bring as he matures and the game slows down for him even more and he develops his skills, he can be something special for this team. The combination of him and Rob moving forward, I love that. His outside shot is developing, getting a little bit better. He can hit those down every so often. He was 1 for 2 from 3, hitting a very big 3 at one point in the second half. He's very something special. So him and Race, I contribute to allowing the team to get back in that first half. Again, it was nearly. They got within. Let me see, how close did they get? Within 4 or 6. Yeah, kind of stayed around that. And then right before the half, they were within 4. Marcus Bingham Jr. made a 3-pointer, and then we go back down and a buzzer beater at the half. Al Durham is able to nail that 3. That was big. We needed that. I even put in my notes as I was watching that that was a nice play to get an open 3 to end the half. Good energy boost for the crowd going into halftime, which was needed because that little comeback and stretch where we weren't playing took the crowd out of it to a degree. The crowd was struggling to find something to cheer about or be excited about. I think it was a mixture of the offensive lagging that we were doing. We were doing more of that dribbling, not passing the ball, not moving the ball on offense, combined with a little bit, I'm just saying audience-wise, some odd reffing with a lot of contact not being called, moving underneath the basket, and traveling not being called. That was the big outrage that sent that bottle flying from the student section, which don't do that, guys. Come on. We're loud. We're big enough. Just voice it. Get those boos going and everything. That'll show them enough. We don't have to throw stuff. With a game that's as close as this, the last thing we need is a technical that's going to cause the team to have some points against them on that. But yeah, I mean, it's a game. Also, I'm going to stick on the reffing for a second. Something that I haven't seen called much that could be called against us quite a bit. And in this game, both sides, I believe, and I was happy that the refs swallowed their whistles for, was the moving screens. Moving screens was something, I guess, that in the officials meeting last year, they must have had a point of emphasis on. And it seemed like it got called a lot last year. This year, not as much. And IU needs to clean that up. Because on offense, I saw a lot of little moving, a lot of little moments where guys would just kind of nudge or lean into the guy that was coming around. Joey's very guilty of doing that. I see him do it a lot. Thank goodness they swallowed their whistle. I don't think, to a degree, both teams are doing it a little bit. It's not really knocking guys on their butts. I'm okay with it. I think you let him play in that. I think he gets tic-tacky in those circumstances. That can also just be some of those early ones that I saw can just be down to energy. Guards being energized with the ball and taking off a little too soon for the big guys to be set and ready to make that screen. So all that aside, IU finishes the half with a 7-point lead. Then coming into the second half, I felt like Michigan State did a good job. Izzo's a fantastic coach. He did a great job of motivating and getting his guys going in the halftime. Indiana just felt very flat and low energy coming out of the half. There were some struggles. We weren't pressuring on defense. We weren't pressuring the ball as much. And both teams kind of stayed relatively scoreless for a while. So there was weird energy on both sides. For like 2 minutes, there was only one made basket, a three by Michigan State. Then Joey and Rob's made jumper kind of helped stem the tide for us, at least at that point. And Rob felt more like old Rob. Rob felt like a floor general tonight. He didn't necessarily contribute point-wise as much as he normally could. He had 8 points. But 4 assists, most assists, and that's where you see it. He felt like that floor general. He felt like the guy that was controlling things, getting the ball where it needed to be, probing when he needed to probe. Michigan State was doing a good job in the second half and a little bit of that first half denying some of those entry passes, controlling the paint to a degree to try to slow us down. And Rob was making good decisions out of that to get us in the right position. The game kind of continues, and Michigan is able to come within it and come within striking distance. And that's when it got a little bit scary. Team just couldn't find the right plays. They come back. They get their first lead happens at 11 minutes in the middle of the second half. And it just felt scary at that point because IU didn't feel like they needed it. They wanted it as much. They didn't have as much fight to them. Then we got another lift again from Armand Franklin. Armand Franklin playing well. That's where he made a great three-pointer, and that tied the game. And I think kept IU within striking distance for the rest of the game. And really, that was a big moment. That gave energy to the team. That continued things on. There was a point then where I feel like we saw the into the huddle. Coach told the guys, we got to pressure the ball more. I think IU did that. That helped. And let me see how many minutes were left. With 3 minutes left in this game, when Michigan was up by 1, I had made the comment that whoever wants this win was gonna come away with it. Who wanted it more? I was looking for someone to step up. Someone needed to step up and win this game for IU, and that was Brunk. That not a minute later was when Brunk had hit that beautiful tip out. A little bit before that, even too, a missed layup. I think that was after that, but Joey Brunk's tap out on a missed trace jumper led to Al Durham's 3-point make. The game was tied at 60 at that point and was not feeling good. IU had not scored in a little while up to that. Al Durham nails that 3. I would argue almost we don't get that tap out. IU doesn't make that 3, and we may not have won that game. I think that was a huge turning point for this game. And from that point, the lead did not change. IU was able to run away with it in the end. So yeah, some crazy play, like always, from IU. Ups and downs, seeing a glimpse of how great this team can be, then falling down a little bit, getting relaxed, not driving, not doing the things they need to do, and causes the other team to be able to get back and do a lot better. Looking at the numbers, though, really kind of say some good things. Points in the paint, 34 points in the paint. That's fantastic. That's to their 18. I say fantastic in the sense that, yes, you want more balanced of a game, balanced of a team overall, but with this team and the type of shooting that we have, that's where we win games, is in the paint. With our big guys getting the ball, making decisions, kicking out, people driving, staying aggressive. And that's what obviously helped us win this game today. 8 turnovers, that's good, to 12 assists, pretty good ratio. Could have been a little bit better, but that's a decent one for this team. Kept keeping turnovers under 10, and I think this team, and doing a few more other things stat wise, and this team can win. I think it's when the turnovers get a little bit higher. Other things have definitely gone wrong at that point as well when the turnovers are that high, and it's a stat that I look to because with over 10 turnovers, there has to be a breakdown from the other team and a great defensive game from us in order to pull out that win. Good minutes sharing. Coaching overall, I usually don't talk too much about the coaching staff, but coaching overall was up and down a little bit. The subbing in the first half aggravated me a little bit. I think some of that lull that we had offensively was from there's one point where we had 4 of our starters were out, and that allowed them to come back because I think the other lineups that were in there just couldn't find their game at that point in the game. They may have later, but at that point they weren't quite in it. But I will say the screen action was some good coaching. While it got aggravating at times, where we would hedge and stay on Winston, they were easily able to dump off to Tillman, who then was diving to the basket. Help man comes over, leaving their man on the 3-point line open to shoot a 3. They had that action on us a lot. They had a lot of good looks from us on that. They missed some of those, so you're playing a little bit of numbers there. Obviously, with that kind of play and game time decision, you're playing against their strength. You want to limit Winston. And that was what that was set up to do. It was, we will take a risk on Tillman diving to the basket and that kick out pass if we can just stop Winston from getting good open looks, getting around the corner, getting 3 looks, keeping him from getting going, was a more important thing than those others. Even though I know watching it, it's aggravating to see that kind of thing. But I believe that was the reasoning for that. And I believe it also helped us win the game because keeping that action the whole entire game and then kind of set up a little bit of a positive in a way for Michigan State for that last play that they had. Izzo, great coaching on his end, wanted to play against us on that, use that against us in his final play. Archie, instead of staying with and hedging, we just switched that time. And Trace was able to stay on him and trail with him and reject his, again, I think it was an alley-oop that he was looking for. I don't think he was trying to score. Whatever he was doing. Trace was able to block that and shut that down. And by the grace, by the grace of God, Tillman missed that bunny. Because man, that was a bunny. That I believe was a breakdown by Justin. I think Justin should have been coming over at that point, crashing the basket and denying that easy rebound and put back. But yeah, that I liked that game plan and a little bit of that coaching game there between Izzo and Miller. No quarrels overall. Again, the subbing didn't feel like it was, besides that first one, like it was just overly subbing. I think the minutes were distributed properly. Guys, when they weren't playing within their game, were sat, and he used the bench effectively as a motivator and in the right way. I think if we had Race in the second half, there were some times where we would have needed him because there were minutes where we needed Brunk to be in there. And, yeah. So Brunk, got to talk about Brunk a little bit. He had 27 minutes, 7 for 12, 6 rebounds, assist, 1 turnover, no blocks or steals. That was a great game by him. Key is showing that you need that senior leadership. You need that energy guy. You need that culture guy. I've been saying it for a long time. Brunk is bringing back the culture and the fight that IU loves to see, that IU needs, that a team like IU needs to be. And I think moving forward, that's where we're headed. That's where guys that are coming in, like Leal, guys that are there now but are young and don't have that voice, Armand Franklin, are going to be culture guys that are going to fight for this team. Not to say that the guys that are there now, our juniors, some of our sophomores and our seniors, they don't fight. Not that they don't fight. They're just quiet. They're a lot quieter of a fight. They don't. It's what look at last year again. Last year's team, a lot of freshmen. Your senior leaders and scorers and leading scorers are very quiet players, and that trickles down. And you want in games like this, you need guys that aren't quiet. You need guys that are going to fight, that are going to be strong, that are going to want the game, and that shows it's that second level of want. Yeah, okay. You can argue every guy wants to win, yes, but it's another level of want. It's a fight. It's a not settle. that you get from a player like Joey Brunk. So, yeah, fantastic game by him. Going down, Trace Jackson Davis finally kind of found his game at the end. Got to work on those free throws. That was a little frustrating. We need to be a little bit better from free throws, 55% in the end. Gotta hit those. Gotta hit those guys. We didn't get to the line as much as we normally do. 20 attempts, made 11, but we need to hit those easy ones. So Trace did a good job. Decent rebounds when he got engaged and got back into it. 12 points. Al Durham, again, hit some timely threes. A few of them were a little scary. 2 for 3. That's another thing, too. I'm going to jump from talking individually to that stat that IU did not overly shoot the 3. There were a few, yes, that were ill-advised that we shouldn't have taken, but I don't felt like we were forcing that. When we were struggling offensively, the shots that the team was trying to hit, while not as bad as usual, they weren't as much of a force-up as you normally would see this team do. Again, Al had a decent game. Rob, back to his floor general status. Justin, obviously offensively, didn't do much. He didn't take an ill-advised 3 this time, so we can call that a win. But what he really did for us was take one of their leading scorers and make him not hurt us as much as he could have. Aaron Henry is a very good player for them, very good shooter, and he stayed with him well and was able to limit him on this game. So, yeah, again, overall, good effort for those who got to get in. Few struggles for some guys. I'm not going to call out guys. Everyone knows who we're talking about when those things happen. Players will get better. Sometimes just not your night. But, yeah, again, fantastic outing. Great win. Third quad 1 win for the guys this year. Great resume builder. If we can continue outings like this, stretch out those moments where we shoot well, crowd's going to be energized. Again, we come out on Sunday, I believe it is, and play Maryland. Maryland's ranked number 17th right now. It's a 1 o'clock game on Sunday. Students and everything are hopefully energized. The fan base there is energized, so hopefully everyone comes out. We get another shot in the arm of energy from a great crowd. We should. Good win to get again. Should be a good fight. Last time, we played them. We played them at their house, and we lost 59-75. Trying to remember some of that game. I feel like we could have been in it a little bit more. We got to shut down their big guy. We got to play a little bit stronger, and I believe we will. Keep this momentum going, play well, and we'll be pretty good. We'll come out on the end looking a lot better than we have. So, yeah, I'm going to finish it here. Guys, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter at General Chadwick. Like, subscribe, all that stuff for this. Go out, have a great day. Be a good Hoosier. Don't forget to smile. Have a good one, guys.